Hey everyone, welcome back. So in the last tutorial we understood how you can read the properties file, and we have understood that we'll be basically storing the browser details and the test environment details into the properties file. Along with that, as we move further, we'll be storing a lot more other stuff into the properties file and then reading those properties file to get the details, the framework, and use those details into our test cases. So the first three lines, let's quickly go ahead. Now these we can understand that these are the common things, the browser setup that can be moved into the base class, right? So base class is the class where we'll store all the common functionalities that require the driver reference, and we'll be storing that into base class. So let's quickly go ahead and create a base class, and I'll name it as base test. All right, and let's quickly finish that. Now in this base class, what we are going to do, so first thing is, we usually in the base class will be having the setup and tear down. So anything which is commonly used across the test cases will try to move into the base class, right? So let's create a method setup, right? So we'll say public void setup method, then we'll have the another method which is tear down, right? So we'll say public void tear down. Okay, now these two are the first sort of method that we are moving into the base class, because if we see our test case, this setup we want to move, right? So we want to move out of the test case so that the test case doesn't contain the unnecessary details that are not required for actual test case, right? Or actual test verification. So we know setup is the common part of the test run, right, or the test execution. So we'll move it into the base class. Now in the base class, we want to also instantiate our lot of things, right? So we want to instantiate the browser setup, we want to instantiate the logging functionality. There are many other things that will be instantiating into the base class. So first thing is browser setup. So let me quickly create a reference of the browser or the WebDriver. So I'll say public static WebDriver driver, right? So it's just create a driver reference. Similarly, we want to have the property reading functionality into the base class itself, so that we can read the values that are there into the property file and use those into our test case, right? So we'll also create, so we'll say public static, and then we'll create the properties. All right, then we'll also create the new object for the reading of the property file. So we use the file reader, right? So we'll create an object of the file reader as well in the base test, right? So we'll simply say public static file reader. Okay, and you will see these errors. Just import this properties from java.util and then file reader from java.io. okay, and then here you need to, now the next step is, so we have created the reference of the driver. Now based on what value comes from the properties file, so if it is a Chrome value that is being passed to this base driver, we want to instantiate Chrome driver. If it is a Firefox, we want to instantiate Firefox driver, right? So now in the setup, we know that as part of the setup, we first want to instantiate the browser, right? So browser, we want to write some logic, so if and else condition, so that we can check whether the passed value from the config.properties is Chrome, so that it launches Chrome. If it is a Firefox, it launches Firefox. So first thing we'll check is, if we want to check if driver is null, right? So because we have just instantiated, or we have just defined the driver, right? So at the moment in the base class, initially it will be null. So if it is null, then what we want to do is, we want to basically check the value that is being passed, right? So when we'll read these properties file and we'll check those values, so if the driver is null, then we'll say file reader, okay, we'll say file reader new file reader, and pass the location of the file that you want to read. So where is the file? So this is the file. So we'll simply say copy the location. So we'll go to properties and we'll copy this location, copy it, and we'll pass that into the base test. Now the next thing is, we'll need to just hover over and add the throws declaration there. The next thing is, after this we want to basically load, right? So we want to load the property. So we'll say, simply say, we have defined the, so we'll say prop dot load and load the reader. So we have defined this file reader, right? And we have defined this properties, or we have created an object of this properties, and in the properties we want to load this particular file, right? So we want to load this reader. Now if you hover over, just add the throws declaration IO exception. So this is the first bit. The second thing is, we want to check what is the value that is being passed in this config.property. So if the browser value is Chrome, we want to instantiate Chrome, right? So we'll write another if condition there. So we'll say if, now we know that we'll be able to get the properties, the values in the file, property file. So we'll simply say if prop.get property, right? So we know that we can use this method get property, and we'll pass the value, right, the key. If browser value, okay, now because this get property will get me the value of that particular key, which is the browser key, and the value is Chrome, and we'll say dot equals, and we'll say equals ignore case, so that if it is case sensitive, or the value that you have put in this conf.property is case sensitive, then it, right? And we'll say if it is equal to Chrome, then we want to do some logic, right? So we'll simply say if value is Chrome, then from the test we want to instantiate the Chrome driver, right? So we can simply cut these two lines from here, okay, and then we can instantiate Chrome, okay. Similarly, if same thing, right? So we'll say this bit here, else if, then we want to instantiate, or we want to launch Firefox, right? So we'll write, then we'll say webdriver manager dot Firefox driver dot setup webdriver driver, okay. So now we know that, let me import this. So now we know that based on the value that you will pass from this particular properties file in the browser key, it will instantiate that particular browser. We don't need to define this WebDriver again here, because we have anyways defined this at the global level, right? So we'll simply remove this WebDriver. So we'll simply say driver is equal to new Chrome driver and the Firefox driver, okay. So you can keep extending this. So if, say for example, tomorrow you want to have this Edge browser, you can simply say else if property.get property browser equals ignore case Edge, okay. So this is the brief of the setup part. Now setup also contains this launching of the browser, right? So this browser launch is also part of the setup. Copy this as well, and after launching of the browser, this test URL, okay. So here in this case we are just hard coding this Zoho URL, right? But we can remove it by, we'll simply say driver.get, and instead of passing the URL, we'll simply say prop.get property, right? And we'll pass the URL, right? So it will now will directly get the URL from the properties file. So tomorrow, if I want to run my test cases on the QA environment, I simply can go here and change this value to QA, and QA.zoho will get launched, okay. So now we can remove this line as well from the test case, and you can see now the test case is getting better, and unnecessary things that can be moved into the common classes or the base classes are getting moved, okay. So now this has been done. Now in the tear down, what we can do is we can simply close the browser, right? So usually in the tear down, what you do, you close the browser, you log off the application. So all of that logic we can maintain or move it into the tear down, right? So we can simply say driver dot close, right? And let me print just a sys out there, okay, just to print something on the screen. Now these two methods are being created. Now we know that we'll be using the testing framework TestNG, right? So prior to launching every test case, I want to launch this setup, and once the test case has been executed, I want to run the tear down. So we know TestNG has the annotations, and we can use the annotations with the @ symbol. If you want to watch the TestNG or learn TestNG in detail, go through and watch the TestNG tutorial that I have posted. Almost 22, 23 videos are there, more than 20 plus videos. So you will be able to understand TestNG in a lot more detail, right? So we can provide setup and tear down, right? So we can provide the annotations. We can say before test. So I'm using before test at the moment, but we'll be most probably using the before suite and after suite. So before test, and you will hover over and import before test TestNG annotations, right? So what these annotations will do is, once you annotate any of the method with before test and after test, then if you're using the TestNG framework, then after your when you execute your test cases, annotated methods will be run before the actual test, right? So I have imported this after test as well. Okay, now what we need to do in the test case, this is not used, so I'll remove this. Okay, so this is what briefly we have completed in the base test. Now initially you will find that this is a lot more work, but this is worth it, and I'll explain you each and everything step by step why this is worth it and why you should be following this framework approach. Okay, so now in the test case, what we need to do now, because we know that base test contains all the common functionality, so setup and tear down. Now this particular test was the raw test cases, which was directly not using any of the TestNG framework, and it was basically just a raw test of launching and signing in the. Okay, so now what we can do is I will simply copy, let me just right click and create a new test case. This is the class that we have created. We don't need to include the main method because we are using the TestNG framework, so we will be just creating the class with that first test, and here the test logic, right? So these were the details that were required in our test case, so we'll simply copy and paste that. So we'll create a test first, so we'll say public and annotate this with the test, right? So we are using TestNG, so if you'll annotate any of the method with test @test and import annotation, then this particular test will be considered as the TestNG test, and it will take the reference of the TestNG, right? Now any of the test case or the class that you will create will need to extend the base class, right? So this is the base class which has the instantiation logic, which knows which driver you want to instantiate. Now because we have removed the driver instantiation from the test, so this particular test needs to understand from where this driver or which driver or reference needs to be used, and these steps need to be performed. So this class need to extend the base class, right? So we'll simply say extends and base test, right? And hover over base test and click on import base test from this base package, right? Click on save. Now if we run this particular test case, right, it should instantiate the Chrome browser, right? It should create the Chrome driver. It will instantiate Chrome browser, launch the test URL, whatever URL we pass, and run this test case successfully. Okay, so if you simply right click on this, run as, and you will see now, because this is a TestNG test, we have used the TestNG annotation. You will see this TestNG option. If you haven't installed the plugin, I would highly recommend install the plugin. You can also run this test directly by icon there and click on proceed. Okay, so you'll see that it has detected the TestNG version and will start the execution. It will launch the Chrome browser and should run the test case as it used to previously, and then close the browser. You'll see it has clicked on sign up, then the password. Failure looks like because of the synchronization issue. It took a little bit more time there, so what I'll do is wait there. Okay, so here let me hard code some of the, so I'll simply say thread.sleep. So this is just to ignore any of the failures. Okay, and I'll add another one. This is not a good approach, but just to show you that everything runs fine, will be sleep as of now, and then later framework evolves will remove all of these hard coding passed. So it was a bit quick there. After clicking on the next, put another sleep there as well, right? So now you will see that this is very basic structure that we have created, but this is the starting point, right? So understand the concept, the starting point, why we are doing things like this, and then you will be able to understand the details. So here now in this test case, all of the system setup or the setup and tear down is now no more required within the test case, right? So why this is helpful now, it doesn't matter there are 500 or 1000 test cases. Now I can easily manage those setup and tear down at one place, right? So tomorrow if I want to execute these test cases into the Firefox browser, I'll simply change this value to Firefox, right? And if I want to execute into the QA test environment, I'll change the test URL as qa.zoho.com. So hypothetically I'm just choosing it, and then it will run on the QA environment. So if I go to it should launch the Firefox browser this time and should open qa.zoho.com, which will fail because qa.zoho.com is not valid. It's just a dummy URL that I have. The key point here is to show you that Firefox browser so you'll see that Firefox browser got launched, and here you'll see qa.zoho.com has been opened, right? So this is how easy it will become for you to manage your test environment, where you want to run, which browser you want to run. Now I do not want to come into the test cases each and every time. If there are 100 test cases, I just need to change the properties file, right? So I'll simply change the value of the browser here. I'll change the URL here. Okay, so let me change it to zoho.com, and here if it doesn't matter if I use the Firefox as uppercase, something like that, because I have used the method ignores case, right? So here if you see base test, we have used this ignore equals ignore case. So in this case it doesn't matter what case here it is, it should still run. Okay, so now if I run this, now this time it should launch the Firefox browser into the Firefox browser, and it should take you to the Zoho homepage, right? So you'll see that it has one test passed, right, this time. So next time you can see that it actually moved to the homepage, but it's actually running successfully. So that's the brief starting point of the base class. Why do we need base class, and how you can implement setup and tear down into the base class and move the URL and the browser instantiation and the launching of the browser into the base class. The next thing is here you will see we are hard coding this path here, right? So we'll in the next tutorial we'll understand how you can remove or you can make it generic. This project is being moved to someone else into your team. They do not have to go ahead and change all of these things into their project setup, right? So at the moment they might not be having C, Eclipse, Java learning this location in their laptop. So that's all for this tutorial. I hope it was helpful. Thank you very much for watching.